Yeah, so big space news. For the first time ever, there's been a successful refueling mission in space. Yeah, the yellow one ran out of gas. The other one came up behind it and filled it up. Yeah, a real moneymaker. I'd buy stock in that. Now that I have you hooked, let's talk about stocks. See? Investing in space. Yeah, it's the next trillion-dollar industry. The estimated $400 billion space economy is still dominated by large aerospace companies and defense contractors. But some of the little guys are getting in on it. But it's not that easy.
Ignition, liftoff, set for 5 aim high. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
Vehicle is pushing down range.
Yeah, so NASA wants to land a man on the moon again. Can't do it. Yeah, building a good lander is hard. And so to do this, they're subbing the work out to other companies. And they've got some good designs. But my money's on SpaceX. Yeah. It's a knockoff of the original lunar lander, and it can fly. Yeah, see? You don't need anything fancy. And this thing works great. But it did have a setback. Yeah, it's okay. They're still working out the kinks. Yeah, so we were the first to put a man on the moon, but Russia was the first to put a satellite into low Earth orbit. Yeah, Sputnik. Everyone's heard of Sputnik. The first satellite in space. It launched way back in 1957. Flying ball. Yeah, but flying balls are proven winners. They come in first a lot. And this ball finished crazy fast. It was on Earth lap 1440, topping out at a speed of 18,000 miles an hour, and then disaster struck. It crashed and burned, and all that was left was the key. Yeah, so just getting into space these days is real tough, let alone landing a man on the moon again. You know, you need the right kind of technology and the best kind of navigational equipment. And it makes me wonder how the Apollo missions got to the moon without getting lost. Yeah, they had all this great old-style computer technology, but they didn't have Google Maps, then no TomTom. So they solved the navigation problem with the best tech available at the time. Anybody know what this is? A sextant. Yeah, it's old school. Yeah, we should go back to using these. You know, but this type of old technology gets destroyed. Yeah, and it's too hard to bring that back again.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology.
Yeah, so there's a new spacecraft headed to Mercury. Yeah, this is Bepi Colombo. Meat grinder. Yeah, it looks like one. Yeah, this will conduct a series of 6 Mercury flybys between 2021 and 2025. Then in December of 2025, gravity will take hold, and that's that. That seems like a waste of money. And besides, we already know there's nothing there. But if you're out there looking for the goods, I'd go straight to where it's raining rubies. Yeah. This is planet HATP 7b. It rains rubies here. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. It has clouds of this rocky stuff called corundum. Yeah, molar. Yeah, it looks like one. But instead of gold in these molars, there's rubies. Yeah, they're everywhere. All you have to do is pick them up. And it's just 1,000 light years away. Totally worth the trip.
The largest organism in the world is a mycelium, which is 3,000 hectares large. It's between 2,500 and 8,000 years old. The idea that there could be something alive that is adult makes sense.
Yeah, so there's big hopes for space mining. Yeah, they want to mine the moon and Mars. I get it, it sounds profitable. They even have equipment ready to go. Yeah, I know it looks like it could work, but it would take forever to fill up a big wash plant, and time is money. I don't see it happening with this. You need really big mining equipment to get anywhere. Yeah. But just imagine all the big dozers and loaders and rock trucks all crammed into the rocket. No way. That kind of stuff weighs too much. And why risk all that? There's a better place, and 3 times as big as the United States. Just load everything onto a boat and head to Antarctica. Yeah. These are the dry valleys. Isn't it awesome? All this virgin ground, all the gold. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Gold Rush, Antarctica. Yeah, it'd be a great show. I'd love to do it. But just imagine all that red tape.
Unless you're an elite scientist or an emperor penguin, exploring the Antarctic is forbidden. Oh, and before you go asking Santa for presents, the Antarctic is actually at the South Pole.
Yeah, so evolution. It's amazing, right? Did you know over millennia, our bodies have completely changed lots of times? Mandela. Yeah, but whatever it is, it worked. We went from swimming in the ocean to walking on land. Yeah, we switched out the gills for lungs, swapped out the flippers for feet, and became humans. It was a lot of work. And did you know, before the whales turned into people, they spent a lot of time as hippos? Yeah. Then something strange happened. A lot of the hippos decided to be whales again and go back to the ocean. I would have done the same. Have you seen the hippos that stuck around? They're mean. And even the crocodiles won't even pick a fight with them. Yeah, so we can't stand these masks, right? Yeah. And they don't work. We need ones that will really keep everyone safe. And I found the right one. See? This is what you need. They're really absorbent and perfect for talking shit. Good evening. Let me take a moment to talk to you about the graveyard orbit. Out here in your sealed space coffin, you can safely socially distance and shelter in place without worry, knowing you or your loved one won't spread the virus to anyone. Yeah, so don't take chances. Don't get buried. Don't get burned. Get Orbital. Yeah, so how about we relax and catch some gravitational waves? I know a place. Right here at LIGO. The Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. Flat Earth detector. Yeah, I know it'd be perfect for that. But for this thing to detect gravity, it has to be perfectly level. That means they had to compensate for the curvature. Yes, they did. Look, this is not like building a highway or a causeway or a canal. None of those things really need to be level. You can build those on a ball, no problem. But there's no fudging on this one. They had to slice down into the ball and set this thing in there perfectly level. What a tough job that must have been. You really need the best contractor for a job like this. A company at the top of their game. Cavalier Construction. Yeah, that's who I trust. They're the best. They do it all on the ball. Yeah, so I'm driving down the highway and a cop pulls me over. He said, "Do you know how fast you were going?" I said, "Yeah, 930 miles an hour." The cop looked at me funny and said, "No, I clocked you at 70. And the speed limit is 55. You were speeding. License and registration, please." So I hand it over. He starts writing out the ticket. Then he says, "By the way, how'd you come up with 930 miles an hour?" So I told him. I said, "The Earth spins east at 1,000 miles an hour, right?" He said, "Yeah, so?" I said, "I'm headed west, going 70 miles an hour. So 1,000 miles an hour minus 70 miles an hour is 930 miles an hour." The cop looks at me and says, "Sir, please step out of the vehicle."
She expected to sell a tiny speck of moon rock encased in a paperweight she claims was given to her space engineer husband 40 years ago. But after she contacted NASA to see if they could help her find a buyer, federal agents set up a sting at this Denny's. They suspected she was dealing in stolen government property.
Yeah, so I woke up in the middle of the night, worried about the ISS. All that space junk floating around up there. It's dangerous. They've been lucky so far, only a couple of minor dings. But the space station before it wasn't so lucky. Yeah, Skylab. It was launched way back in 1973. It worked for a while, but then disaster struck. Get a load of this. Something went right through the roof. Looks like they used a good tarp to try and stop the leak, but it ended up sinking. It's dangerous around here, all the space junk. They ought to just take all the space junk, and why not round up all the plastic we can't recycle and dump it into the black hole? Yeah, 2 birds, 1 stone. We could really clean up the place. And if someone complains on the other end of this thing, that's 3 big birds, 1 stone. Yeah, so the 60s. It was an amazing decade. I watched a documentary on Woodstock, and in one scene, they were showing all the walls of reels, tapes, and recordings. Then I realized something. They managed to save all the Woodstock music tapes, but lost all the moon landing telemetry tapes? Makes me wonder what kind of drugs NASA was on. Yeah, so aliens, they're out there. We see them a lot. But they never stay. They do a flyby, and that's it. They're gone and they never come back. Is it the crappy hotels? I don't know. And then I saw this. Yeah. Now we get it. Would you risk flying into this crazy mess? No way. I wouldn't stay there either. What a dump. Yeah, so another day, another space mission. Yeah, this is OSIRIS-REx. It has traveled for 2 years and 1 billion miles to get here at Asteroid Bennu. This amazing spacecraft has an arm that will reach down and grab a chunk of this asteroid, put it in a can, and toss it back to us. Yeah. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. I think they could have picked a better asteroid, too. Look at this. Yeah. Exactly. It looks like the burnt charcoal in my Weber.
What's so special about the Weber kettle that makes it the most popular outdoor cooker in America? The Weber people tell me it's virtually untouchable.
Yeah, so another day, another Mars mission. Yeah. This is the new ExoMars rover, built in the UK. And in 2021, this rover will land in Oxia Planum, an area chosen for its rich sediments. It doesn't look like it has a gold pan. That's too bad. But it looks like it has a good selfie stick and camera. That's what matters. Yeah, they put on good metal tires. Not the best for sand, but at least they won't blow out. And at a cost of only 287 million pounds, seems like a good deal.
Well, you certainly got that right, FEC, but I found something even better. Hey, take a look at this here, huh? Hey, that's the NASA's Cosmic Cleaning Crew.
So guys, if you can't afford to take a girl into orbit, I understand. It's expensive. But there is a solution. Give her Vector, the scent of space, the newest fragrance by Lockheed Martin. Drive her wild with its deep metallic bass, balanced by a subtle yet seductive fiery undertone that burns off clean like a chemtrail in the atmosphere.
I was born in a concrete jungle, a place where chemtrails pollute the air.
Yeah, so I heard the astronauts on the ISS are getting some new spacesuits. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal until I found out the ones that they were using up there are 40 years old. I had no idea space work suits could last that long. My Carhartt work pants are only a couple of years old, and they're totally worn out. Holes in the knees, torn pockets, they're trashed. I wish I could get a pair of work pants that lasted 40 years. I'd be set. Yeah, so NASA is headed back to Mars in 2020 with a new rover. But this time they have a new and amazing way to land it. They're not going to bubble wrap it and crash land it like before. Too risky. Yeah. That's a sky crane. That's the rover. This is called a sky crane maneuver. It'll use wires to lower the rover safely down to the Martian surface. Hope it doesn't fall. From the ceiling. Good one. Yeah, but this rover is going to take a lot of great pictures. It has 23 cameras on it. No! Yes, it does. See? It's got cameras all over it. It has front and rear HAZ cams, mast cams, nav cams, super cams, and 7 science cameras. I didn't even know they made science cameras. Yeah, it can take a picture of something and tell you what it's made of. But what's really cool, the rover will deploy a small drone. Yeah. This is called the Mars Helicopter Scout. It will fly around, take pictures, do some mapping. Yeah, I know it doesn't look like a very good one. I've seen better ones at the mall. All right, you guys have been great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good night.